It is Tuesday night, and we are 2 games in the hole over the last couple weeks. So, yes, there's lots to talk about from Anthony Richardson to Joe Flacco to the Vikings and everything else in between. You're going to have a good time tonight because you know what? Clyde is locked and loaded. Sammy, bang that bitch, please.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. And Bill Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
It is absolutely going to be sick. Before we start, let's get the word from our sponsor. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 6sports. That's code 6sports for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
Now let's officially start the show. That is the official sound of the anvil, and we are live and we are loaded. Share. Tell a friend. We are on the air. Boys, #1, my first time out, Michael Pittman, anytime touchdown loser. So I will give it back to you guys on Thursday night to pick whatever because I am a loser. Kind of like the Colts. Open the door. Joe Flacco. He gives us the best chance to win. The offense is supposed to be more vibrant, more electric. I don't know. We're evaluating everything. What else can I say that Shane said? And he's still our guy as of right now. So the floor is open, boys. Joe Flacco, you seen him Sunday night, primetime football, 16 for 27, 179, maybe? Something like that. 169,
179. I think it was 179.
179, one tud, one pick. Only 2 possessions that actually crossed the 50, if I believe. Nothing.
No red zone.
Shit show. Jonathan Taylor had 48 yards rushing.
13 first downs.
13 total first downs. Worst offensive production of the season for the Colts offense. Where you guys want to start?
I think shit.
And we lost to the Vikings.
Curtis Painter did a better job than Flacco did.
Curtis P. I wonder what Curtis P is doing these days.
I don't know. Probably
Bring him back.
Knows?
Get Flacco the hell out of there.
Whoa, we're not gonna do Waka Flacco like that already. Now listen.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We can't give him nicknames.
Waka Flacco?
You got to actually do something to give people nicknames.
Man, I'm quick on the draw. I like Waka
I do like where you went with that. I like where you went with that. Like it's just like the general direction was amazing. But the thing is, he didn't play like somebody that deserves a nickname. I mean, he played like somebody who should be at somebody's parent-teacher conference.
Oh wow.
That's why he gets a shitbag nickname, because he's a shitbag.
Well, Waka Flocka, the rapper. First off, let me start with this. You are now the actual minority here, sir.
I don't care.
I've been keeping that in my pocket for a minute. Affirmative action does not work on this panel. Nice fucking try, sir. Got rid of that shit.
Yeah. All right. First of all, if you worried about what color my ass is, I'm hanging out with the wrong damn people.
First off,
I was going to say,
early. What are you talking about?
We're going to big pause that because that
giant pause.
That is sinister.
Heinous acts. That's heinous activity. Okay. So yes, it is election night. Please do your part. Vote if you haven't already voted. I know Indiana polls are closed, but do your part. Do your civic duties. Now, back to Waka Flacco and how he did not do well for the Colts, and now what this means. I don't know if you guys seen this. I was live in Minnesota and I'm watching, but I definitely picked this up. Did you see when he threw the pick? Did you see Josh Downs' reaction?
Yeah.
He was fucking on fire. Like Josh Downs is a second year player, and he works his ass off. I'm sure every Colts player works his ass off. Let me not try to throw anybody on the bus, but it was clear that him and Joe were not on the page all night because of a couple other passes that they missed, but he was on fire when that happened. And it goes back to, what I think we saw when they asked him how he felt about Anthony Richardson. You can clearly tell by his reply, Joe is 39 years old. So that was leading to me like, why are we playing this old dude? That's what I took from it. But here we go on Sunday night. It doesn't look great. So please give me your worst gripes before we get into the defense. And we sucked everywhere.
Well, let me say hi to everybody real quick. Chat's already going nuts. Kevin, Sean, Adam, Teresa, Eric, what's going on, everybody?
John, what's up?
Joining me, Jeremy. Appreciate everybody showing up.
Y'all keep going.
Anyways, I'll start this one off. 2 years ago, the organization sold us when a very young, very inexperienced collegiate quarterback that had talent out the yin yang.
Yep.
Ceiling so high, it's God's floor.
It's high. It's very high.
Very high. And then they continue selling this to us by saying the only way this man gets better is reps. Reps, reps, and reps.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to live through the growing pains, but we'll get him there. We'll get him up to speed. We got the right head coach, to develop a young, talented QB. We are now 10 games into his career because of injuries. And you bench him because you want to go into this win mode now with a very inconsistent quarterback. He's more consistent than Gardner Minshew, absolutely. But even I screenshotted this, so I don't know the actual deal with the stats, but I'm reading it from Sonny Colt off of Twitter. Past 7 years, Flacco has been on 5 teams, got a 12-22 record. Hasn't played more than 5 games in 5 seasons. 1 in 32 teams wanted him this offseason. 1 of 32, and that was us.
Mm-hmm.
So in the past 5 years, you've got a 12-22 record, and my organization is saying this man gives us the best chance to win. When you've already showed us on AR, we've already fell in love with AR. We fell in love with his stealing, his talent, his energy, his complete demeanor as a man. And you bench him for that.
Well, let's be honest. The move wasn't made because we're a team that's in win now mode and we're in a Super Bowl window. This move was made because somebody knows that their job is on the line if this team doesn't succeed, and they know that they haven't done everything that they possibly could do to get this team in the best possible position.
Okay, but Chris, if that is the case, wouldn't your job be more on the line because now you're not winning at all and you're not developing your young star?
But see, here's the funny part, because we've talked about this. We've talked about the fact that, and we can, like I said, we have to go back to this front office. We have a GM who decides that he wants to go. Everything that he does is for developmental purposes. It's going to take guys to grow and learn and develop and do what they need to do. So what do you do rather than going and being aggressive, secure that number 1 pick when you know that there's an option out there that is a little bit more ready with CJ Stroud? You pick up AR. Because AR now, as high as that ceiling is for him athletically and as high as the ceiling is for him talent-wise, you know that he's raw and you know that he's a green prospect, but you know that you can sell 2 to 3 years of development by going and saying this. So now you have 2 to 3 years that you basically have for a window. But the problem is you didn't go the slow route. You didn't go the route of saying, hey, we're going to put a veteran QB out there and we're going to let him sit and learn and we're going to let him just go ahead and get his reps in practice. They said, you know what, we're just going to put him out there. So if he's good, you look like a genius. If he's not good, then you know what? It's because he's raw and he's a green prospect. But the problem is that he got injured. That put the timeline back. But the thing is now you put him out there again, knowing that he still has these mechanical things he needs to figure out. So here we are, 6 games into this season, and now everybody's questioning whether or not he's the guy. But now you go back to Joe Flacco because you're expecting Joe Flacco to channel his inner Phillip Rivers from 2020, and it's not working out. So now, guess what? You have to go and basically prove that you've put together this team that's going to be able to get this together under Joe Flacco, and all the opposing defenses did was say less. Say damn less. And you know what? And I'm also going to go ahead and put this stat out there for you. I'm going to put this stat out there for you. JT under Joe Flacco. He's under 2 yards per carry.
Nasty word.
JT, when AR's in there, 76 carries, 395 yards. The man's getting over 5 yards per clip, and you mean to tell me that there isn't something that's immediately changing when AR's in? So instead of going and saying, we're gonna let this guy develop, win or lose, he has to get the snaps. Guess what you do? You say, you know what, we're in win now mode. Hey, newsflash, this team ain't in win now mode. I don't know if anybody saw. Marshawn Lattimore went today for a 3rd and a 4th round pick, 3rd, 4th, and a 6th, and they traded Marshawn in the 5th. That's a win now move. With all these players that have been traded, those are win now moves. This team is not in win now anything. This team is in the longest rebuild ever.
It's like when you keep your clothes in the washer when they've been done for a while, they start to get that mildewy. Yeah, we're in that mildewy.
Yes, exactly. And then you pour a little bit of soap in, and you're just like, I just gotta turn the temperature up on the water a little bit. I gotta wash the mildew out, and then now we're gonna be good again. And then guess what happens? You forget a little bit later on, and you smell it, just be like, oh, there's still a little bit of mildew. I gotta put a little bit more soap in.
Like, is that me? Like,
yeah,
I know I watched this. Yeah, that's where we are, man. And to Chris's point, right? Like, he nailed it when he's like, oops, we put him in there too soon. Damn, we gotta pull him. This creates a lot of controversy, but at least I, as a play caller, would be like, I'm still going to utilize his skill set. So he would still be coming into the games for unique situations. I'm sure a lot of people will use the keys like, oh, he's coming in. It's probably some type of RPO thing. But the difference is he's not a gimmick quarterback, right? So it's not like you bring them in and it's like, oh, here comes the Wildcat package. Like, sure, it could be the Wildcat package, but moral of the story is he is a legit quarterback. Now he's got to work on some things, but I would still be like, there was times in that game where I'm like, just let the kid go in for 2 plays, not to supplant Joe and create even more controversy. Like, oh my God, you guys went to Joe and took him out midway through the game, but at least have a small package of plays for him. 5, 6, 7 snaps just to create some type of creativity, because you know what we did last game against the Vikings to show creativity?
Offensively, nothing.
No, we did. Nothing. We did. We ran an end around twice to Ashton Doolin. Let's not do that again. Like, that's not nothing. I mean, he did get a few yards for the Ashton Doolin fans out there. And this is no knock on Ashton Doolin, but when I think about who our playmakers are on our roster, Doolin is, he's down the checklist a bit, just a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I am with it. Like, this feels more of a prideful move Like, fuck, I came out there and I said this. Maybe he didn't feel what he actually thought he felt when he said Joe Flacco is the guy for the rest of the season. Maybe he was in a passionate moment. But now you can't really come off of that. Oh, until you do. Because yesterday, what did he say? Yeah, Joe's still the guy right now. What's right now mean? Like,
Well,
Shane Steichen is throwing a lot of curveballs, man. And I'm sorry, he's letting me down, bro. Not just because he's a 500 coach. I don't care about that. Like, he's the most misleading coach ever. At least, like you said last week, Chris, you said it very vivid. At least Bill Belichick was just going to bullshit you from the jump. I ain't telling you shit. Don't ask me shit. But all this is what's bothering me. You know what? This is what's bothering me. He keeps saying, we just got to clean up these things. When I hear that, that implies, hey, you guys won. It was still kind of ugly. Too many picks, too many turnovers. The defense is a little shaky, but hey, you guys are 7-1. Yeah, we got to clean up some things. No, we don't need to clean up shit. We need to fix things. We have major problems.
oh yeah.
So you're not cleaning up shit. Like, you're not going to go to the drawing board this week or go into each individual room and talk about one or two things and be like, oh yeah, you know, man, boom, quick fix, and come out on Sunday and it's all good. Like, no, you motherfuckers can't tackle. You guys can't get off the field on third down. I mean, let's talk about 29 first downs.
Yeah.
4 drives of 60 yards or more, 3 resulting in touchdowns. 1 should have been a touchdown, but I don't know, with Sam Darnold seen ghosts and threw it right to Z. Like, people are talking about, oh, but the defense played good. They did their job. 415 yards, 29 first downs, and time of possession 36 minutes. You did not do your fucking job.
Well, yeah. And
They had some big plays, and that's why everybody said, "Oh, they did great."
7 for
Yeah.
137.
But
Justin
go
Jefferson.
back and look at the whole game.
But it's kind of like, but the thing is, like, this defense has always been a defense where, like, even last year, like, it's things that you can go and you can talk about because they're good bullet points, but then also you look at the other side and it's just absolutely putrid. Like the fact that, like last year, for example, 54 sacks, franchise record. But we got no pressures on the quarterbacks. So even though we got 54 sacks, quarterbacks were throwing for over 250 a clip per game.
Pat, what was my statement all last season? What was my favorite phrase? He probably forgot because he's fucking old. Talent over scheme. That's what 54 sacks or 56 sacks was last year, Chris. Talent and will over scheme, because the scheme is still clearly the same. And never mind, I'm not calling for a man's job, but people are starting to get fired now. We've seen Dennis Allen out. We've seen the OC out and at the Raiders. And
Oh no, the Raiders, I think they fired everybody on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
I
and
think
we
they fired
still-
everybody except the water boy.
we in win now mode, but we're gonna stick to our guns. Keep the same players, keep the same coaches, and keep doing the same shit and hope for something different.
Yeah.
Insanity.
But the thing is, but this is what we've come to expect. It's like it's and Pat, I don't mean to talk about your daddy like this, but you know what? Sometimes you got to call out the old people. Like we gotta really just be intentional about the fact that we literally have been programmed to believe that there's certain buzzwords and there's certain things that we have to just put up with that just are normal to us because of the fact that we're the Colts and this is what it is. Like we have to put up with the fact that we're never going to go and make any move, whether we're in win now mode or whatever it is, to go and make this team better. Like we have to understand that, you know what, this defense is the best that it's going to be, but you know what, we're going to get some great performances from certain guys. Like the thing, it's almost pitiful the fact that we had opportunities to go and move the ball in Minnesota, and yet the only touchdown that we scored came from the defense.
And we've yet to have that complete game that Shane has been, saying we got to get all 3 phases. We got to have a complete game across the board.
Yeah.
It's like offense is on in a game like Jacksonville. Defense can't stop a nosebleed. I mean, defense playing whatever people want to call doing their job, if you will. I don't know what the fuck that means, because if you really tally it up, more than they did their job, Minnesota hurt themselves.
Oh yeah,
Like I said,
absolutely.
the
100%.
turnovers, they missed 2 field goals. So in all actuality, that should have been 31 points. Like, so when people are like, oh my God, yeah, they played so good. This, that, and the other. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, and it's not just because I was at the game and I'm watching it live and this, that, and the other. But I'm like, bro, it's the same fucking epidemic. Third, and it doesn't matter. 1 to 20. And the other team's like, I just call my favorite Madden play here. Fuck it. Let's run it. And boom, move the sticks. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I don't even understand how we give up 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13. 2 weeks ago was 3rd and 16. Like, what the fuck is going on where that is like not something that's being like really screamed at in practice, something is really being screamed at on the sideline? Like, I would be losing my shit if I was a coach and we gave up 3rd and 16, kept a drive going. Oh yeah, by the way, I know Justin Jettas is pretty damn good, but it's situations like this where you realize, oh, Jalen Jones is a 6th rounder. Right. That's right. I know we've been getting like, oh, he's playing not too bad. Dude has been kind of decent. And then you see him go up against that. And you're like, oh, I forgot he was a 6th rounder. Yeah, that's where the fuck we are. So I'm out on Jalen Johnson as the future.
I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Okay, so the thing is, I was with you. I was with you all the way until you
still with him.
So the only reason why I say I'm not out on Jalen Jones is because
7 for 137.
Yo, but the thing is, Justin Jefferson is the type of person who has to be schemed out of a game.
Fair.
Like I'm gonna say the one thing that I've seen, I'm gonna say maybe not last year, but the year before last was when he played against the Eagles, and the Eagles schemed him out of the game. They didn't strictly have Darius Slay on him, but what they did was they made sure that they followed him and that they kept a safety in the immediate area and they kept the corner in the immediate area.
I remember
more often than not. Justin Jefferson, because mind you, Justin Jefferson has had games where he's went up against Jair Alexander, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and he's absolutely torched him. Like he's had games where he's went up against like Jalen Ramsey. And the thing is, he's done work up against Jalen Ramsey. Like
lies.
Justin Jefferson is good. So the thing is, when Justin Jefferson puts up 137 on Jalen Jones, that's not a Jalen Jones thing. That's just Justin Jefferson on a day. Yes. So the thing is,
he's just that kind of athlete that will make anybody look bad unless you scheme him out, like you just said.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Jalen is a 6th round pick.
He absolutely
he can be a 7th round pick. He can be a 1st round pick. Justin Jefferson is going to do what he does. You bring the friggin' farm to stop his.
Yeah, I'm not going to penalize. I'm not going to penalize Jalen Jones for going up against arguably the best wide receiver in football.
I am, because he keeps getting cooked when it's time to do that. He gets cooked against Nico Collins. He gets cooked. He gets cooked when it's time to eat. You know who's the chef.
No, absolutely. But the thing is, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be out, because guess what that leaves us with?
I know, because Sam got beat like a drum too. The go route was on Sam Womack, who we were praising a month ago. He been getting his ass whipped or getting penalties called or just looking in the backfield. Because before Stephon Diggs got hurt in Houston 2 weeks ago, I was at that game too. Hey, CJ Stroud. Oh, that's a football over my head for 32 yards. That's Samuel Womack.
Well, it only happens when you're at the game.
Okay, well, fuck
it. Maybe you should just keep your ass at home.
It's all your fault, Clyde.
Maybe I should have stayed in the fucking desert, because you know what?
We were doing good.
You know fucking what? As soon as reality comes, I'm reality. Call me Mr. Reality. I guess the light starts to shine on the team that, hey, man, these were glaring holes that we believed in because we had some good OTAs and some good camp and all that other stuff. But this is the same product. You know what? I'm going to read something. Just a short. Even though we fell a game short of our goal of winning the AFC South last season showed me that we've got a very talented and promising team with a blueprint for success in the future. That's from my season ticket letter from Shane Steichen. Now, hold on now. For my part, everything starts with winning the division. So that's what we'll be laser focused on in 2024. We continue to emphasize character, preparation, consistency, and being relentless in everything we do on and off. So the things that I highlight in the part that I chose to read. Relentless in everything we do on and off the field. Today was a trade deadline. Win now. Was there a player? You don't have to name them, but there's glaring holes on this team. So is there a player that could potentially be available to help this win now mode, especially since you put all your chips in the middle of the table last week when you said that with the Joe Flacco comment? I would say yes. What position you want to choose? I don't care. But this is 7 straight. No, I'm lying. This is 7 out of 8 trade deadlines in which the Colts have not made a move. The only one being 2 years ago. Trade Naheem to Buffalo, bring in Zach Moss.
And that was.
And we don't even have Zach Moss anymore.
No. And actually, the Bengals went and got Khalil Herbert from the Bears because Zach Moss is now out of commission.
Yeah, so then there's that. So I sit here and I say, there are things that I feel like we constantly need to always put in perspective. As fans, all we can do is root and cheer and bitch and complain. There's really nothing else, right? Like, we don't make moves. We don't make decisions. We're not in any kind of like thought process when things happen. But
You might not be.
But as always, we need you. We want to see you at training camp this summer, at Lucas Oil Stadium this fall, and at Colts events throughout the year. It truly pumps us up and makes a big difference on game day. How are you going to keep a fan base motivated, right? How are you going to keep a fan base locked in, stuck together, rooting this team, supporting this team, buying merchandise, whatever, continuing to fucking, get their season tickets if you're giving them the same product with no evidence of a future of change or success? What are we doing? This ain't even about Anthony Richardson as a draft pick, put him in, take him out. It ain't even about that. But it's about clearly evaluating where we have issues. And then we hear people say, yeah, that's on me, whether that's the coach, whether that's the GM, whether that's the owner telling us, hey, I'm committed to this and this, and nothing ever changes. So it's almost like we're in this like battered domestic situation, man. Like, we keep getting beat, but we love him or her, and we just keep coming back to the abuse. That's where I am. I feel like an abused spouse because I know I should leave, but I can't. Because I love them. And I'm loyal.
At least go make me a damn sandwich.
What'd you say?
I said, if you can't leave, at least go make me a damn sandwich.
I gotta see.
And so that's where we are, man. That's where we are. And I just don't know what to do next besides drink. But this is bad for my health. I can't do that. We read the disclaimer about fucking gambling. Bring this one up. Because this is what this team is doing. Look at Chris. Chris is fucking lost.
This is where I'm at.
I'm stressed out.
Okay. The off season, I'm excited. Training camp, I'm excited. Going into the games, I'm excited. I know we're going to have struggles. I know shit's not going to look pretty because we've got that young QB. We know he's going to have to, go have his ups and downs. We know this, but I was still excited. I was still excited to see the big plays come out of him. I was still excited to see him develop right in front of my eyes. I was still excited about everything until last game. And I had zero excitement for this game Sunday. And what they produced on the field, I'm not even upset over it because I'm not even excited about it anymore.
What they produced on Sunday night, apparently they had zero excitement for this game on Sunday.
It was right on cue, man. Come out, great drive, fumble, energy.
I
was like, I literally turned and talked to the guy that was next to me. I was like, yo, bro, like, I was like, yeah, man, you know what? We looking pretty decent. Whatever, first drive, whatever. I literally turned like this, and the next play, JT was kicking the ball forward.
So you was at the game and you jinxed him.
Hey, you know what? I don't do well with all this negative energy. All right. Perhaps maybe if you change something about you, grow some fucking hair. You've been bald for 30 years. Put some hair on your head. Maybe that'll bring some luck to the coat. No, not there.
No shave November, baby.
Bring it up here. Okay, well, give me the friar tuck. Give me the no shave November friar tuck version. Run that for me.
Let me look like a dog's ass. I ain't doing it. I ain't gonna do it.
That's nasty work. Nasty. So here, man, look,
the nastiest.
So here we go.
I mean, anybody else in the chat feel the same way I did?
Yeah, let's bring up.
I had zero excitement for this game Sunday.
Clyde,
yeah, I mean, I was completely sold on AR, and I still am. I was sold on the ups and downs of his development. I was sold on everything, and then you pulled the excitement from me.
Oh, hey.
What we got?
Hey, boom. Hey, guess what? You want to know why? Because we're sold the same thing, and we've been sold the same thing every single year. We're sold the exact same thing. And do you want to know why? Because we do the exact same thing every offseason. They show us a couple highlights in OTAs. They show us some guys doing some things here and there when they know that the lull of not having football is around. And so the issue then becomes, how are we going to make sure that they get excited? How are we going to make sure that they buy merchandise? It's gotten to the point where this is no longer just about football. This is just about them going and meeting quotas, because they need to go ahead and sell their merch. They need everybody to buy in on everything that's happening right now, as opposed to actually going out there and doing what you need to do. There's no reason why every single off season, we literally are top 10 in available cap space. By the end of the free agency period, we're still top 10 in available cap space. And yet all we ever hear is that, oh, yeah, well, we're going to go with who we have and we like our guys and this, that, and the other, when you know for a fact that there's ways that you can remedy every single time. I know I've talked to you more than once, Pat, and we've talked about this time and time again. I'm not asking Ballard to go out and sign every single free agent in free agency. But what I'm saying is that if you continuously have the same issue over and over again, you mean to tell me you can't get one guy that can go ahead and be a holdover so that you can go ahead and address this next year? But rather, you're drafting 8 or 9 guys, you're getting rid of half of them, and then you're dumpster diving in practice squads right after the draft. And then meanwhile, you're sitting there telling us, yes, depth. But then the depth then becomes starters. The depth should not be becoming starters. The depth is exactly for depth.
Yeah, man.
That's what we're continuing to go with. That's the dream that we're sold, just so that we go out and we buy tickets and merchandise.
Think about this.
It's been the exact same thing.
Ballard
holds on to our cap space like it's coming out of his pocket.
Let's go. When we talk about the draft, let's go Darius Rush. Haven't seen this guy from California. Blows a knee out every year. Let's go Jelani Woods and what that's been. We've seen him for – did we get a whole season out of him?
Yeah.
Got a whole season out of him. Them hamstrings, and this year was I don't know what it was this year.
Anal hair got out of place or something.
So, I mean, we have put a lot of stock in the draft. We have hit in the draft. Some of these guys are now gone. The Bobbies of the world, I think we mentioned he's gone. Naheem Hines, another gem, gone. Shaq Leonard all the way out the league, gone, if you will.
Bobby-O.
Yeah, Bobby-O. Yeah, I mentioned him. He's a giant. And so it's like Anthony Walker. Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget him.
I mean, but
I love that dude.
I don't think that was Ballard's pick. I think that was Ryan Grigson's pick. But
I think that was a Grigson holdover.
Yeah.
But he let him go, and those two were like fantastic.
Yeah, the first couple years when it was Anthony, Shaq, and Bobby was just now getting a little time. before EJ and Zaire were getting tired. Like, think about what that backer room. You want to talk about competition? Let's just say some kind of way that group is still together all the way up until, let's just call it last year, when everybody's kind of like meeting, their, hey, we're in the prime of our career. That could have been the greatest linebacking core ever. Like, them dudes were dogs, bro.
Yeah.
Different system, different utilization. I get it. A lot of them play the same roles. So, of course, certain people ain't going to rise to that same top or that. Whoa, pause. They're not going to rise to that same point because they don't get. Oh, Jesus Christ. Because they don't get enough playing time. But I'm just saying, so we don't even have some of these guys that we have built in the draft, if you will. So what I'm saying is it's probably time to turn the page. You're still got to draft every year because you have to draft. But I don't think we need to start caring about fourth round and beyond anymore. I don't even think we need to care about third round and beyond anymore. And that's for the right now, if you will.
But we've heard that that's going to be the standard. Because we've heard directly out of people's mouths, and we've heard directly out of our GM's mouth. He says, I'm not going to vacillate according to what everybody else says. I have a way that I do things, and if it gets me fired, then so be it. That's not somebody who's willing to pivot. That's not somebody who's willing to change. That's not somebody that's willing to adapt. That's somebody that has a way that they're doing things and is too stubborn to pivot.
I disagree with you on that. I think he does pivot, but I don't think he's going to just do something because us three sitting here saying, "Oh, Chris needs to do this." I think that's where the statement come from.
Put the blanket over him.
I've seen him pivot. You've seen him pivot.
But
we have not seen Chris Ballard pivot.
How have we seen Chris Ballard pivot
Pat,
what he's done? Well, how have we seen? Because the thing is, pivoting would be trading up in the draft. Pivoting would be him just going.
They tried
and address.
It takes two to dance.
But that's the thing. Like, how hard did you try? If you go ahead and you say that, because the thing is also
takes two to dance. Because you send them the right shit, it's gonna happen.
Pat, let's also talk about this too, because remember, and this was when I believe this was in 2018 or 2019 free agency. He says, when we have a number, we stick to that number.
Are you talking about?
That's him. That's once again, him not being willing to go ahead and just say, you know what? If let's just say there's a chance that you can get a guy that can be a difference maker and your number is at 12.5. He says, well, I don't want 12.5 per year. I want 13.5. You're basically stating that this is the number that you're going to go with, and you're not going any higher than that. Because the thing is, try is always something that can be done. But the thing is, in everything that could have been tried, Matt Stafford wanted to come to the Colts. But we ended up getting Carson Wentz instead, and we ended up giving up a first-round pick anyway.
Oh, that's disgusting. Don't even remind me.
That's all. That's 100% on Frank. And you both know it.
No.
Yes,
I mean, okay. That was Frank's dude. He helped draft him. Cool.
And it's still his dude.
But come on, man.
That was Frank's guy, but there's no reason. I don't care how great Carson Wentz looked for that one season. I'm going according to what you've done most recently, and that was a project. Carson Wentz was a project when we got him, because Carson Wentz was coming off of it, arguably his worst season ever, and all we were sold was that, yes, Carson Wentz can potentially be back to the MVP level he was. He just needs to get his confidence back together. As opposed to going with the savvy veteran in Matt Stafford, who we knew still had all of it left in the tank. And you knew that you'd be able to have him come in and he was going to be able to take over. And you knew that you would have him for years. But then we look forward, mind you, that was what 3 years ago. Carson Wentz is essentially a backup now and probably is damn near out the league. And Matt Stafford has the Rams streaking right now.
And he's won a Super Bowl.
And he's won a Super Bowl in that time. So the thing is, we can say that it's Frank Reich, but the thing is, at the end of the day, you have to be willing to go ahead and pull that trigger.
Okay, JT. How long did JT hold out for a new contract? And how back and forth was that in negotiation?
That was what, 4 games?
I guarantee you Ballard pivoted on that and paid him his money to get him back on the field. Paid him over what Ballard put his mark at. Guaranteed.
But when it comes down to that, because doesn't that also go to Ballard's mantra? Because mind you, Ballard
I
also
pay my
has another
players.
thing that he says. He says we pay our own.
Yeah.
So the thing is,
And look, don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
Him letting Bobby O go, I thought was a huge mistake.
especially when he paid Zaire what he would have paid Bobby O when
Yeah.
Bobby O had better progression, or he had I'm going to say he was more successful. So
Yeah. See, and so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's all rainbows and sunshines, because it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's cloudy days,
Especially
fucking
right now with
tornado
AR on
warnings
the bench.
and all kind of shit in Indy right
There'll
now.
be no sunshine until AR's back on the field. I'm just saying, right?
No,
now.
it's not.
What I tell you,
because
bro.
now
It's over with.
not.
But the thing is now it's we've said it before, we can say it again, because it just continues to be what's going on right now is franchise and managerial malpractice. That's exactly what the hell this is right now, because now this boat looks rudderless. It looks like it's just drifting. Ryan Kelly is now on IR.
Where did his injury come from?
I don't know.
Let's talk about holding him accountable.
No, like,
hey, did you tap out on your team all of a sudden?
Yeah,
Your calf and knee
exactly.
hurt. Let
Yeah.
me chill out. Let me Omaha
What?
myself.
Like
Let me
a
Omaha myself.
50-something% grade.
I'm not going.
on
I'm not
Sunday's
going to
game?
talk about. I'm not going to talk about injuries. I said that last week. But what I'm saying is there was no clear evidence of an injury, and suddenly he's on IR. Michael Pittman, we talked about him. He's still playing with, I don't even know, fucking disc issues or whatever he's got going on his back. People are saying maybe we should put him on IR. And Ryan Kelly out of the blue. Our trade deadline news was Ryan Kelly's on IR.
exactly.
What the is going on in Indianapolis?
But that's all the more reason why we're like we have to really just take into consideration that right now this team is at 4-5 and we don't know where things are going. We said that we were told that Joe Flacco gives us our best chance to win, and then he showed us why that's absolutely false. And now you know what? Now Shane Steichen looks like a jackass, because now you have to worry about, is Joe Flacco going to go out there and continue to put up absolutely nothing, or are we going to be able to go and do these, or are we going to be able to go ahead and right the ship? Because right now there's a lot of different jobs on the line, and honest, if everybody except Jim Irsay, I mean, hell, I would even go the route of saying Jim Irsay's job's on the line, because I mean, at this point, I bet Carly's looking at him like, my dog, we gonna have to have a discussion, because this ain't going the way it's supposed to.
I'm gonna tell you this, bro. Unpopular opinion. Nobody's job's on the line. That's horseshit. I don't know what it is. There's a tight knit faction between Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay, and I'm trying to tell you, unless something negative happens to Jim Irsay, I don't want to say that, Chris Ballard is safe. There's no other dude that Jim Irsay is looking at. This is the way. Like, if you're watching The Mandalorian, this is the way. We're stuck there. Now, how we right the ship? Because here's my issue. Everybody was talking about how bad he was playing. Fans, apparently the brass, the coaching staff, whatever. And suddenly, tap at the door. Hey, so you guys are benching this kid. I think I can fix them, whoever they are, multiple teams. What's the price? Oh, no.
Yeah, it's just
no. We're not selling. What are you talking about? Ain't no way we're selling him. No, that's our guy. Horse shit. Now there's another level of pressure. I'm trying to tell you, man, way more than the days of guys like Lombardi and Tom Landry and Don Shula, where they controlled everything. That's over with. Social media and trolls control everything. Mind you, I'm working on my troll game. I'm pretty solid at it, by the way. But anyway.
You do like to tell people what to do.
No, I'm talking about I'm trolling at a high level here. Because all the people that were free ARing and, oh no, not them. I'm sorry. The people that were bench AR now suddenly are free AR. after Flacco's performance.
Oh yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, you want to see the biggest gaffe in history? Trade Anthony Richardson to whomever. Say everything you want to say about it. Oh, he sucks anyway. Lowest this. Throw out every stat you want to. He's the worst quarterback since 2000 and whatever year they throwing out. Do all of that. And let him go and work with people who actually understand what he needs to work on and is going to have the patience to work on with him, and then watch him become something that we thought he would be. And then look self in the mirror, because you know what the Colts have done before? Oh, Peyton Manning, yeah, we love him, but he is kind of old. He had the neck surgery. He doesn't have much power in his arm anymore. We're going to get Andrew Luck, 2 more Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl win, Peyton Manning. Colts haven't been back since. So then there's that. And Andrew Luck is now a hiker or whatever you said he was.
A hiker?
I heard he was a hiker or some shit. I don't know what he does.
I think he does hiking as a pastime.
Yeah,
I don't know what he is.
So
he's a coach.
Like coaching high school or something.
That too, but I think he does. I think I was talking to Louise at the game, and he was like he does some hiking shit. I don't know. Moral of the story is we have missed badly before when we let a quarterback go into the sunset, if you will. And so I think that's why we were like so reluctant on, oh, wait, we're not going to trade him, but I still don't think he plays again. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Like, what is, again, it's not even about what he's watching. I'm going to give Joe Flacco his respect. Joe Flacco is a 17-year-old vet. He's been into it a long time. There's plenty he could show AR by just playing football. Absolutely. But it goes back to Chris's point at the top of the show. That's as if I am brand new to this and I'm just sitting watching with the headset and the clipboard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I understand that check. Oh, wow. He comes back. We sit down at the Surface tab. I'm looking over his shoulder. He's talking to me. Oh, wow. Shit, I would have missed that. Not I've already felt the game. Not I already got game time experience. It's not that he's not going to learn. It's not that he's not going to see any things. But it's like he doesn't get to apply these things now. See, when you unveil him for the first time, everything now is like, boom, I have studied. I have seen. I'm still going to make my mistakes, but I had enough time to understand after the fact when mistake is made, why mistake was made. Yeah. I'm not learning on the fly at that point. We let him learn on the fly. And when it went south, we was like, ooh, put him up.
The bad thing is, you guys correct me, but I seen improvement in every game this year from AR.
Yeah, it's about what you're looking at.
I think it depends on how we're looking at progress. When you're looking at the scope of what progress. So, because the thing is, for some people, progress is
numbers.
You know, how is
numbers?
Okay, yes. So Clyde. So one of those indicators is numbers, right?
Yep.
But then also we can also talk about the fact that improvement is how is he moving in the pocket with his footwork. The mechanics is also how is he scanning the field. Is he just looking down one guy the whole time, or is he making sure that he's reading all the levels? And so the thing is, there's different levels. I think there can be a case made that he showed progress in different aspects in every game that he played. But the problem is that
tremendous improvement, 100% by no means. But improvement comes in increments.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. Like when we're talking about progress and improvement, the simple way to look at things is his stat line. The stat line is always going to say, oh yeah, well, he went 10 of 32 for X amount of yards. He's not improving. But then if we look at the actual game, and if you're watching the game, you can go ahead and break it down. And I think there's a former NFL quarterback who breaks down the film for all the quarterbacks every single week. And he specifically makes sure that he goes over AR's games and everything. And more often than not, one thing that I was able to see from him was that there were a lot of those plays where AR went to the read that he should have, but for some reason it was covered. They're not getting separation. Stuff's happening on those plays. Now, mind you, he absolutely is at fault for many of the passes that he throws. But for the stuff that he wasn't at fault for, those are the things that aren't being looked at enough and aren't being analyzed enough in terms of how you're talking about how well he is progressing. We can't look at things from just this scope of is it a win or is it a loss, and that's how he's progressing. Because the thing
Yeah,
is,
I
at the end
agree.
of the day, we're going to get losses. If AR has a good game and it ends up being a loss, did he or did he not improve?
I mean, I just go back from go look at him when he played. Who was it? No, he got hurt in the Bears game. No, he finished the Bears game, the Steelers game.
Mhm.
Bears game, air mails, like simple outs, boom, throw that shit 17 yards higher than Josh Downs.
Yeah.
Go back to the Texans game, no air mails. He missed one deep shot that was fingertips for Alec Pierce, but I'm talking about pure air mails on like on a hook, on an out or something short, a mesh play. He was air mailing it. No, he didn't do any of that. So my progression was based on, as he said, is he climbing the pocket? Is the footwork somewhat better? Is he understanding and realizing pressure? Now, he had made some other mental errors, like he had 2 games in a row dropping the football on a read option, right? One fumble against the Dolphins and then a fumble against the Texans too. So yes, there were things like that, but I'm saying like he's in a zone that we're not. And sure, we want him to be at his A game all the time, but he's trying to think quick. He's trying to work through, the progressions, if you will. He's trying to, and it's what was very interesting about that when he dropped the ball and they fumbled, he recovered it. We ended up going out and kicking a field goal. The next drive, we came back out. They ran that same shit again. He got a first down. That's progression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's those things that I've been watching. Now, the numbers are the numbers. I got into some fucking argument with a goober who was like, because I mean, he was already low when it came to completion percentage. And I basically was like, unless he comes out and have a perfect game, he's going to suffer all year because he started so low. Like, he's not going to just automatically jump from, I don't know, below 50% and then be 70% on the season. Like, you need a lot of games of high clips to even start to move the needle after you started so slow. But I'm like, we're going game by game. And then ultimately at the end of the season, we'll just see what it is. He's like, oh yeah, he could change it in one game if you just played better. You're an idiot. Anyway.
No, you can't. Because the thing is, ultimately, you would have to literally get like 120%, and that's
like
physically fucking impossible.
I don't know
whatever. Man, I know the stats are huge on everything.
Yeah,
but I don't think they cross the stats where they should.
Well, I mean, because there's so much critique right now. So no, of course not.
That game against the Texans, how many damn drop balls?
7.
That should not have been dropped. I thought it was like 9.
It was 7. But this is funny though. Had he got those 7 passes that were dropped, he would have been at his clip, which is 50%. So
that was
okay.
Well, that
but
was
what about the rest of the year? I haven't really.
He would have
been 17 for 32, roughly. So a little bit.
So a little bit over 50. Yeah,
a little bit over 50. You'd be like 52%.
Gotcha.
17
to 10th game. Give him some slack.
I facts. Hey,
he's got to screw up so he can learn.
You're talking to the choir here, baby.
That's it.
But
I don't like how everybody say, oh well, he's a 47% passer. He's this, he's that. Only because you're reading stats. I can read fucking stats all day long.
You can make stats do what you want them to do.
Yes, but the reality of things. How many drops were there? How many times was he pressured? How many times did the O-line break down? You see what I'm saying? There's more to the game than just the final stats.
But he's the quarterback, so he's going to fall on every sword.
I get that. But I'm pleading to everybody right now, stop.
Well, they're not, Pat.
Stop, because there's more to the game than the fucking stat line.
I'm here to fight them. You don't have to worry about it. I am that warrior for you, Pat.
Yes. And you know what? And like I said,
warrior.
and we have to also wait.
Jimmy, bring up some comments and some questions before we get out of here. Don't be talking about my high school like that. Yes, I am a warrior, a proud warrior. Adam J.
That's exactly what Adam said that he was referring to earlier. Yep.
3/12 on a third.
3 out of 12 on 3 out of 12 on a third. Yeah.
Highest paid kicker. Man, Matt Gay has been tripping lately, bro. I went to the bathroom. I was like, oh yeah, he should be get this. Next thing I know, Texans first down. Omaha, his ass. Omaha. Next one. Next slide.
Matt Gay got an Omaha. That's great.
Hey, I said if the O-line played like last game, he gets sacked, and I'm pretty sure he got planted in the Vikings field like a tree. And it wasn't even to the last drive, honestly.
Yeah.
It was the last drive where we had to have it. He had to, wait around a little bit longer. And yes, he had no escapability. So, Jeremy, absolutely correct. And here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. I think Buffalo's a little bit more aggressive than, what we're probably giving them credit for. They have had an up and down year. They had a lot of injuries. I don't know. Buffalo's defense over the last couple seasons has just been fucking just like littered with injuries. But that's still a damn solid, good defense. And if we get into the game where, Josh Allen is up 21-0, guess what now? It's full pass pro all day. 2 rookies starting now. We don't know if Raymond will be back because, his situation. So, we already got Bortolini. He'll be starting for Ryan Kelly, and we have the right guard. What's kid's name?
Goncalves.
Gonclaves or something like that.
Goncalves.
No, he started last. No, he started last week for Bernard.
You talking about Dalton Tucker?
Tucker. He's not a rookie.
No, he's not a rookie.
He's not a rookie. But yeah, Dalton Tucker will be in there. So yeah, we had a piecemeal 9 at this point. Next slide. What we got? What's going on with Kelly? No one knows. Maybe he tapped out. Nope. Let me Omaha myself. Can't say that.
Somebody in the chat said his pussy was hurting.
Can't say that, but he did say he
That's-
knows that there's a high standard around here with Ryan Kelly. When did we know you were hurt? We didn't.
Bruh.
Next slide. Kelly is probably done for the year in his career. Well, he's got to miss 4 games for sure.
Yeah.
And if Tanner comes in and plays well, and he's due a contract next year, talking about Ryan, I don't see him coming back.
Well, that's why he wanted to secure it before the season started. So
I think me and Chris talked about this in the offseason. We
agree.
didn't see him coming back.
It's about time. I mean, he's a 10, 11-year vet.
Yeah.
And he's a center. Yeah, man.
And he gets hurt every
Protect
other
yourself.
game.
Concussions, neck, whatever else this is. Yeah, bro. Next slide. Tell me why Joe is a pocket passer, but we didn't play him like that. But with AR, we have him slinging the ball every play. Well, I think a lot of that is based off of how you have to sell Joe Flacco. So again, what did we see a lot of? We didn't see a lot of pistol. We seen single back, some JT old school stuff. We seen more play action because nobody's really respecting the pistol with Joe Flacco back there.
They're not. Absolutely not.
What's the point, right?
I mean,
you gotta give them traditional sets. That's what I think.
That's what that also you got to realize that, the Vikings are a very blitz heavy team.
Yeah.
But now you don't have to game plan for AR's legs or for the run because now all you have to do is say, you know what? We just have to go ahead and stop the run and then we'll let the secondary do what they're going to do. And that's exactly what they did all game. They put pressure on Joe Flacco by making sure they're disguising coverages, but making sure that Jonathan Taylor didn't get going at all. Hence, going back to the point that I made earlier about the fact that JT this year, or I'm going to say with AR, 76 rushes, 395 yards, averaging 5 yards per clip. But JT under Joe Flacco is averaging under 2 yards per carry.
Disclaimer. I am not stating that the player that I'm about to mention is the players that I'm about to mention.
Oh.
What I'm getting at is we got to start taking some chances. People have been double covered, TOs, Randy Mosses, other big time receivers. I am tired now, 2 weeks in a row. I get tired watching Alec Pierce just run. It's kind of pissing me off. If I was Alec Pierce, I'm like, hey, man, who knew I came to the NFL to just do cardio? Like, give me an opportunity, bro. Just give me a chance.
Shape. You got to admit that.
Yeah, he won't be tapping out. Omaha myself again. But here's the fucking deal. Give the boy a chance.
Yeah.
We're not even giving him a chance. Throw that fucking thing. See if a pass interference is going to happen. Something, because we've had that happen this year. I'm tired of watching the boy run. Okay, he was talking to Justin Jefferson after the game, and I was trying to like lip read. I'm watching it on video, not while I was there. But he was like, you know what I mean? I like admire you, something. Like, I strive to be like you, something along those lines. Well, they give Justin Jefferson a fucking chance. Don't matter who's on him. Doesn't matter. And I'm not saying he's that good, but I'm saying he's that fast. He's been that explosive this year. Take advantage of that shit. Push the ball down the field and see what the fuck happens.
Hey, we got to get out of here.
And for My final statement is where everybody's screaming about, oh, we need a tight end. We need a tight end. Why? We don't utilize them. Our tight ends are blockers. Throw the balls to some tight ends too.
Sammy, put our handles up, man.
Good Lord.
Chris, where can we find you?
You can find me somewhere depressed because I don't feel like I need to be going through this right now. But you can find me at CJ Colts fan on Twitter. So yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna put my Cash App there, so this way you can go ahead and just pay me for this. Because you know what? I'm tired of being this sad for free. I might as well just be this sad and be paid at the same time. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm definitely about to go have more alcohol.
Alcohol.
Pat, where can they find you? My favorite worst X handle
At Big P Colts.
Oh Jesus!
Which I'm gonna change. Just get you off my daggum back. What do you want me? What do you want me to change it to?
I don't care. Be creative.
Hell, shit, you don't. You say something negative about that Twitter handle every show. So you pick it and I'll change it.
I'll work on it. But Big P Colts is terrible. And you can find me at Colts Clyde.
But he don't care, does he, Chris? He don't care. He don't care what I put.
Hey, you're the minority now. Shut your mouth. All right, look, man, please like, subscribe, follow on all the things. That's YouTube, Facebook, the X, Instagram. You know where we are. We never put our X handle up for the pod. So that's at Sick Pod Coach. So please like a fan, tell a friend, and all the things. And on Thursday, I don't know. We got it. Well, what are we talking about on Thursday, boys?
The game, Buffalo coming into town,
and any other sad, depressed.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting up my Cash App tonight because, like I said, I just need to be paid to be this sad.
And whether or not I'm gonna become a Detroit Lions fan here soon,
I gotta see.
Get us the hell out of here, Sammy.
You get an Omaha for that, jackass.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast and Bill Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.